Hello, everyone. Are you trying to find an expert to help you with your business? Or maybe you found an expert and you're just not really sure if they are the quote expert that you were hoping for? That's what we're going to talk about on today's show. So stick around. Even if you're watching the replay, be sure to shout us out down below and let's jump into it. All right, so you are a business owner, or some of you might be soon to be business owners, so congrats. And you're looking for an expert, and you're not really sure where to start. Well, first off, you have to start by researching. So, what does that mean? That means that you not only are typing into Google to see a business coach or a business expert or whatever it is that you're looking for, but you're also going to be looking at their website, their social media handles, their profiles, I should say. You also are going to be looking at any reviews that are online. And then here's a big one. You're going to be asking people that you know already, that you see online all the time for their recommendations. Because again, personal recommendations are huge, which is why you want to make sure that when you recommend somebody, you know that they're going to follow through and that they are going to be a good resource for someone. On top of that, and by the way, you can always drop your tips and any kind of messages you want down below. Even if you're watching the replay, if you're listening to the audio, you can always find me on social and just tag me. So when it comes to finding an expert, you want to do your research. Research is key. Listen, I know as a business owner, we have a little bit of time, like no time, right? And things should have been done yesterday. And we're always trying to catch up with things and check things off of our to-do list. So we don't have a whole lot of time to do all this quote research, right? But if you're trying to expand your business, trying to grow into the next phase of your business, you have to take some time to do the research yourself. You cannot outsource this to somebody, whether it's your assistant or anybody else. They can do parts of it, but it still at the end of the day comes back to you. Why? Because you need to see who these people are that are the experts that are going to possibly help you. And you also need to make sure that you are constantly checking to see with yourself, how do you feel with them? Have you seen them do a Facebook Live? Have you seen them in person? Have you watched any videos that they might have had pre-recorded? Anything that allows you to get an idea of who they are, how they teach, like all of that stuff matters. It's not just the words that people use or that appear on the page. You really need to feel out the person, right? We like doing business with people that we know, like, and trust. So you really have to make sure that you feel it here and here and really tune into your senses, because it's so important. So many times, especially online, we find these quote experts and they may sound great, but then we start working with them and all of a sudden they're not what we expected and they are taking us for our money and then they're burning us. And then the next person that comes along who actually is good and wants to take care of us, we don't give them a chance because we've been burned or we don't have the money or we don't have the time and all of the, the list of things happen. Welcome, Jennifer. So glad to see you live. Thanks for tuning in. So really understand that it's about you, the business owner, taking a few minutes to do this research. It's so important. Trust me, it will save you so much time, money, and energy in the long run. You cannot even imagine. Like, it is really good. So do that. I want to also, the reason I bring this up, I should say, is because when you find an expert or coach or whatever the term you want to use, you want to make sure that you know, like, and trust them and that you feel comfortable with them and that you know they're going to be there for you. This is the big one. This, at the end of the day, is what really matters. We have so many online groups and memberships and organizations, and there's so many good ones, that many of us are a part of that do an amazing job. And then there's some that are not so good. And maybe the owner of that membership or that group or that organization isn't as present as you would like. So what happens when you catch on to that? Chances are you start to leave, right? Because the person you were hoping to work with or be around more is not there. So you really have to understand that the expert that you're looking for is somebody that you can actually connect and that's going to be there for you. And of course, there's so many layers to this. I'm just scratching the surface here, but I really want you to understand that when you're looking for an expert, you have to do your research, do your Googling, do the website review of them, the social media reviews, read their reviews, ask people for personal recommendations, but know at the end of the day that you want to also feel comfortable with them and that they actually are passionate about what they do, that they're interested in it. And the reason I bring all this up is because it came up this morning / last night. This morning, at 5 minutes after waking up, one of my Edsters, Aaron, asked a question inside the Hey Ed Network. And of course, I was so excited to answer it because it's close to my heart here. And I had all these ideas for her. And so I jumped in and I started typing my comment, but then I also did a pre-recorded video and shared it with her after waking up, 5 minutes after waking up. I literally just put on a hat, cleaned the eye boogers out of my eyes, and went on and gave her what she needed. Why? Because I'm passionate about what I do. I love helping people and being able to be there, just like I am for you right here on this weekly show. So really understand that when you find people like that, that's who you have to connect with and continue to follow and really go to the next level with. And also taking it back to last night when I had a workshop in my local area, I was reading the reviews because afterwards people will fill out the evaluation forms. And I've seen this come up so many times in the evaluation forms and in reviews just in general when people work with me. And it's always about my energy and that I have that good vibe, positive energy, and that I'm really showing that I'm passionate and caring about the topics I teach, but also the people that I'm helping. That is huge. Not only for me, but for you. You want to find people that have that. And then you also want to put that out there for your people so that when they see you and they start talking about you, they're writing those kind of comments as well because it catches on, right? We want to be able to spread that positivity. We want to be able to help more people. And we want to be able to really just connect and be that resource for each other. So that's what you really want to pay attention to when you're looking for an expert and really trying to upgrade, up level your business, I should say. By the way, if you're watching the replay or listening to this, be sure to jump in down below and let me know. Jennifer on Facebook says, I find that whenever I join another program that has a group, the leader of that group is never as engaged as you. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. You spoiled me. Grateful for my Hey Ed Network experience. I will say, I really appreciate that, Jennifer. I will say that, yeah, I do spoil you guys, and I love it. And it's because I'm passionate about it. And there's so many things that I'm really excited about that I'm working on for us. So can't tell any of you guys that yet. You almost got me. But that's what I'm talking about, right? Is right there. That's a great example from what Jennifer just shared with us. You really want to make sure that if you're that expert for others, which you are, you're showing up for them, that you're passionate about what you do. I can relate it. One more thing I'll relate to is that it goes back to school, right? So when I was in school, and even now when I hear about it, I think about the teachers that have the tenure, right? So let's go to college. Let's take a second to go back to college and think about it. There's a lot of teachers who are there because they love helping and they love teaching, right? Let's face it, they're not there for the paycheck because we know that teachers don't get paid even close to a living wage, let alone what they should be worth, right? For what they teach and everything. But if we look at people in the teaching position, there are some that get the tenure and are just so miserable. Now, I don't know, you tell me if you've ever seen this before, but I know that there are some teachers that when I was in school, they were just so miserable, and they were making everyone else's life hell. And it was like, why are you here? And it's one of those things, well, they have tenure, and so they don't want to go anywhere. Yet they're making everyone else's life a mess, and it's depressing, right? And it's frustrating. Why do you want to do that? Nobody wants that. So really make sure that you're doing something that you can put your best foot forward with, and that you can be there for your audience, because there's an audience for you and they're waiting for you. And then once they find you, they're going to continue to follow you, and they may not buy from you right away, and that's fine. Some may not buy from you for years, but they're still going to follow you. And when the time is right, they are going to buy from you. And so that's why I always say, don't worry about the numbers. Worry about creating those relationships and engaging with your people so that you can build these relationships over time and really grow your business, skyrocket it later, because the numbers will always follow. So that's a little bit of how you can find your experts and kind of how you want to feel them out, basically. Feel free to drop any tips or comments here on the replay for those who are watching it later. And let me know also, what are good times for you on Wednesdays? So I typically go live here on the business page and on YouTube on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm Pacific Standard Time. But I have a little bit of flexibility on Wednesdays. So I want to see if there's a time that maybe works for you, because I know a lot of you catch the replay, which is fine. I love it. But some of you might want to actually join live so that you can really interact with me and engage. So do that down below. Let me know, so then I can try to see if there's a time that will work for a lot of us. So then that way we have a bigger community going on here during the live broadcast. So if you need anything else, drop me a line, send me a private message. And until next week, I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week and weekend, and I will talk to you later. Oh, and by the way, before I let you go, see, there's a cliffhanger. I'm going to show you real quick my screen, because I want you to know, especially for those who are local, that I have a workshop next week in person. Yes, look at that, for my local business owners. So if you're in my area or will be in my area, and you want to get more tips on how to get your business seen and heard online, we're going to have an awesome event downtown Santa Rosa. You do have to RSVP. If you want the link, I will put it down below, and it's free. It's a free workshop, and it's kind of a mini live event, if you will. It's going to be fun. We have a couple guest speakers, Midori and Bianca, which they're amazing women. I cannot wait for you to hear them. And then I'll talk about social media, and then we'll also have some networking going on as well. And yeah, it's going to be fun. So if you're in my area, definitely be sure to stop by. Well, RSVP, because space is limited. So sign up today, and I'll pop that link actually right now, so I don't forget. Misty says, Ed is the man. Thank you, Misty. I appreciate that. Here you guys go. Event for next week. Awesome. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in live and on the replay, and I will talk to you guys all later. Take care.